It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Pearl Capital Partners and the Kingdom of the Netherlands to invite you here today.
PCP was set up as a fund management business 20 years ago. For the 2 decades we've been doing this, it's been a very exciting journey managing agriculture-focused impact funds in this region.
The transition from the dairy to rather than horticultural credit to the broader smallholder capital fund, rather credit fund, together with the additional €2 million from the EKN, bringing the fund to about 8 million right now.
There's a big opportunity that is possible in Uganda as well, because smallholders here dominate the Ugandan agriculture, and access to finance, and especially access to finance for women, is such a challenge.
We brought the whole package to these smallholder farmers and cooperatives and groups by deploying the experience and lessons we've learned over the last 20 years managing agricultural impact funds.
We are the ones who are going to change agriculture. What about our coffee? The very nice story of an endowment that God gave us naturally. Who will finance coffee if we get away?
But that first step to get your credit to really grow your business, it is a challenge where we are very proud to be a partner of PCP, because PCP has proven that it's possible to really find those farmers who need the financing.
Indeed, agriculture remains at the center stage of our transformation. We need to do something about it. It is well represented in our NDP4 plan, national plan. That therefore means that we need to be serious about it.
Today, we are launching the expansion of this fund from a €6 million fund to an €8 million fund with additional capitalization of €2 million, and also the expansion of the geography focus from just being the Western Uganda and central parts to also the Eastern and Lango parts of this country.
We know that smallholder farmers need training, they need input to proper inputs, seeds, manure, but in the end, if they really want to grow, they need finance to invest in their own farm. And availability for farmers up to small level is still quite difficult. So banks do a tremendous job to provide loans to bigger farms, but smallholder farmers need access as well. And that's the reason we are very pleased to partner with PCP. History is there to learn from, and PCP has shown that they really learn from this journey, and we are very proud to be a partner on your journey. Thank you very much, and all the luck in starting the Smallholder Credit Fund. Thank you very much.
Almost welcome to this exciting moment for us as PCP and the team. We are very honored, especially seeing more chairs coming in the room. We are pleased with the attendance. with honoring our invitations. And from our investor, the Dutch Embassy, the Netherlands, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, we are very pleased to be partnering with you on this very important milestone and achievement of launching this fund. Actually relaunching this fund, because it's really a recapitalization and increase in the fund facilities and availability to the various beneficiaries. All protocols observed. In the interest of time, I will try and be as brief as I can be, despite the excitement and the temptation to tell the story. In terms of the team, we didn't have labels, but if I can request the whole PCP team members to stand up, at least for the team, because I must say it's a lot of work for these guys. If you can just stand up for our guests, that would be very kind of you. Yeah. Good. So that's our team, and that's we, if I may. In terms of the fund itself, it's been a good, interesting 3 years. PCP was set up as a fund management business 20 years ago. For the 2 decades we've been doing this, it's been a very exciting journey managing agriculture-focused impact funds in this region. And along the way, we thought small was not going to make it. And therefore, we kept increasing our ticket sizes. We kept looking at slightly bigger fund models. We kept looking at more bigger SMEs. But the more we looked at the smallholder farmers who control the supply chain for these SMEs, we continued to see very marginalized, poor people struggling. 3 years ago, we did have an engagement with the team from the Food and Nutrition Department of the Dutch Embassy. And the issue was, how do we design a solution that works with smallholder farmers, cooperatives, farmer groups, and models to solve the key challenges for these guys? Because for way too long, it was about the high interest rates. It was about the inappropriate and rigid repayment terms for the facilities that the SACCOs were giving to these smallholder farmers. It was about the misaligned agricultural investment products. It was also about the strict collateral demands. But then also, it was about, can the cooperative model work? For those of you who are much older than myself, you probably may recall that there were cooperatives before, and some of these cooperatives in this country worked. And so it was an issue of how do we combine all this and get together to develop a product that is not just about what our stakeholders and some of our partners were doing, which is wholesaling to the SACCOs, give the cooperative money, sit back, and some banks had to do this, but then you're not going to the AGMs, you're not participating in the board meetings, you're not participating in capacity building, you're not engaging them on corporate governance, you're not having the youth and women involved, and then you get the money back. The SACCOs will pay. They don't default. But what were the SACCOs doing? Lending to the farmers at 5-6% per month. And that meant in the 3-4 months when the farmer yields come through, they have no real net profit. And what that meant, following a study from the Dutch Embassy, was that farmers can only get real margins and profitability if they borrow at less than 2% a month. And at that level, we're not talking about annual rates. We're talking about borrowing, planting onions, vegetables, feeding the cow, and harvesting the milk, and you're done. For the farmer, that is their P&L. And now when you sneak out 5% a month, it doesn't work. But then the SACCOs were able to still do that, pay back where the capital is coming from, and they make better margins. But the farmers continue to struggle. And that's why the Dairy and Horticulture Credit Facility was formed 3 years ago. And so once this was formed, it was capitalized with a grant of 6 million euros, 3 million euros targeting horticulture sector, and 3 million euros targeting the dairy sector. And we started off by saying we'll only look at the Western Uganda and the Central Uganda regions, pilot the project. 3 years down the road, looking back, it's been an interesting, exciting journey. And I must say it's not just about PCP's efforts, but it's also about the stakeholders, because we brought the whole package to these smallholder farmers and cooperatives and groups by deploying the experience and lessons we've learned over the last 20 years managing agricultural impact funds. And that was very instrumental because we were able to sit in these AGMs, we were able to sit in board meetings with these circles, we were able to work with them as if they were a private equity investment. And that's what has made a big game changer, because you're able to then participate in mediations, you're able to participate in corporate governance structures, you're able to participate in controls, strengthening capacities, and working with our stakeholders, the other partners of the embassy, like Agritera, SNV, TechnoServe, and all the rest, GOAL, and all the other projects, we've been able to provide the much-needed BDS and technical assistance to these smallholder farmer groups and cooperatives. With all the successes that have happened, I must say, we thought in 3 years we would have reached about 23, 24 circles. That was our target. We've already gone to 70 circles. And we've had 0 default. Not a single circle has defaulted 1 shilling. And so that's tremendous. So we are now getting to this point where the capital is all done. The revolvings are happening. And so we've had to go back to our investor and request that the fund can no longer continue being at 6 million, but we need to have the fund increased. As we go through the process of expanding it, we thought the fund could get to even 15 or 16 million, but time is not on our side, and that's why, gladly, Your Excellency, the Deputy Ambassador at the Dutch Embassy, and your team accepted to recapitalize the fund and increase it with these 2 million euros that we are celebrating today. So that the fund size goes from 6 million to 8 million. For some of you who know fund dynamics, the economics of funds below $30 million does not make sense. But because the rest of us and everybody involved with a small fund like this, the impact returns, the objectives of what happens to the smallholder farmers keeps us awake. And so I can't say this is a fund that's going to make a lot of financial return, no. But we'll be able to return the capital to our investor as a bare minimum. All the capital will be availed back, plus a small return, both financial and social impact. As part of the increase in the fund capitalization amount, we've increased the geography. We are now going to the Lango and Teso and, so Felix, you must be happy, yeah? We're going to the Lango and Teso and Busoga regions. We are having to restructure and start looking at more of class E, C, D, E, F circles. In other words, the circles and cooperatives that are really smaller and struggling. We are able to increase the value chains from just horticulture and dairy to also do a few other value chains, and that is very exciting. With that, I would be happy to now talk about what are some of the things we think we've achieved. Putting it in absolute numbers, we think the 20,000 smallholder farmers we've so far impacted in 3 years. By the time we get to 8 years, we are in 2030, when this fund, first phase of the fund life is expected to end, we are looking to hit 100,000 smallholder farmers. And that is going to be very tremendous because it's a revolving facility and it's already working towards those numbers very easily, with so many youth and females involved. We are looking to unlock a lot of capital through co-investments. We are seeing other investors, even other banks, reducing their interest rates and also joining us in some of the circles. And on ground, we're able to share lessons and experiences. And because we have the BDS and technical assistance support, that is not common with even commercial banks. It's very supplementary, not just to our investments, but also to their investments. In terms of where we are going, over the next few years to 2030, when the fund life is expected to end, it's not going to be about just access to finance. It's going to be a whole game changer to ensure that so many smallholder farmers across this country are able to adopt the model, are able to have access to finance and timely access and well-structured access models that are going to help support the smallholder farmers in various sectors. We're already seeing other donors and investors reaching out to say, how does this model work? Can we piggy bank on this same model and support the smallholder farmers in various other value chains? And we are excited that we will see more of these 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million fund additions relating to various value chains over the next few months. In terms of improved production and productivity for farmers, in terms of improved yields, in terms of economic resilience, in terms of more adaptation around climate interventions, you've seen farmers having more feed for their cattle being grown. You've seen farmers looking at more improvements in their livelihoods, and some of these were highlighted in the videos that you quickly looked at before this presentation. In terms of the circles and performance of farmer organizations, it's only reasonable to say the farmer cooperatives and circles in the West are doing pretty well. The farmer cooperatives and circles in the East are really struggling. And with this fund expansion and size of geography, a lot of lessons learned from some of the circles and cooperatives in the West is being transferred across the country, and we think we should see even more strengthened farmer groups and organizations in the Lango, Teso, and Busoga regions. And we are hoping that will be a game changer. Think about it. If you had many of these Ebos and Buturos and Rukiga circles who are bigger than smaller banks in this country, across the country, how these farmers would have benefited is tremendous. We look to attract more co-investors. We look to make this model work and be a sample story. As PCP, we've been pioneers in many of the things we've done. I keep telling my team I'm in my evening days of being active in this, but it's going to be very exciting and hopefully to see some of these funds living beyond our lives. We endeavor to tell any partner we fund, especially donor partners, that the model can no longer continue being grant, grant, grant. It's got to be development finance that has models that are self-sustainable, but also can return this capital to be replicated in other sectors and value chains. And that's why we've told the Dutch Embassy, we'll give you a minimum of 1.5 times your money because we are seeing it and we are living it. And we don't want it as a grant that is not going to come back. In conclusion, I must say, our farmers, our farm organizations, this fund belongs to you. For those of you, the few of you who are in the room, and for our partners, we appreciate all the support. We can't thank you enough. Believing in us was very key. Because I must say, even we ourselves, with our private equity and venture capital experience, this was not our space. But we now know that the model has worked super exceptionally well. Even when in our other funds, we're having challenges around exits and getting out of SMEs, with this fund, those are not the same challenges. Here, it's more about getting the farmers empowered, and they will do what you want, as long as the market is there and they are getting the right returns. In terms of the beneficiaries, we will see more modern tools, we'll see more value addition, we'll see better storage, we'll see better post-harvest handling, and we'll see better quality products. Strengthening food security at household levels and economic empowerment remains our key objective for the fund. As I end this, I must say, I don't want to be like some Ugandans who say, your board will have issues, but I would love to introduce our board chairman for the fund, Mr. Ben Twine, if you can stand up again just 1 minute. Mr. Ben Twine is the board chairman for the fund, and he's done a tremendous job to support us through the last 3 years. And we hope he will continue supporting us over the next few years. As is, I don't know whether Gloria is here. That's the other board member. I haven't seen her yet, but I think she's running late. Yeah, but as is, we are looking to grow this fund very tremendously. I would wish to thank Christina very exceptionally. Christina is from the European Union. She supported us with our previous fund, but one thing that has become a game changer also for this fund from the efforts of the EU and IFAD from before is the limited liability partnership fund model and framework that was developed over the last 10 years as we worked through the Yield Uganda Investment Fund, where we were now able to have a framework in this country where you can set up a fund and have it exempt from income tax, from capital gains tax, from withholding tax. And that's very tremendous. And I must say, even as we relaunch this fund is now being registered by the Capital Markets Authority, and going forward, it's not going to be in the category of another limited company, but rather a fund limited, an LLP fund that is going to benefit from that framework. And that's very, very tremendous development. And again, a model that is going to work. For our regulator for the fund, Edith, we are very proud of your support. We are very proud of your support all through, even when you were UMRA and when now under Minister of Finance. We are very excited that you are able to allow us to operate and you are able to license us to have the various activities done over the last 3 years. And with that, we are very proud and very pleased that you accepted to be our guest of honor at this event. And that's very tremendous support. For the rest of everybody else in the room, as I said, I would speak, if I would speak about everybody and everybody's efforts to make us what we've done and what we've achieved and where we've gotten to, I would never finish. But I'll forever be grateful for all the efforts, for all the support, and all the energies put into this. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you so much, Dr. Isingome. Another round of applause for him. I had hoped that you'd help me invite the Deputy Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. But without butchering his name, please help me clap for him as he comes, His Excellency Bowie Jan Smedek. Yes, I got it right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, MC. And butchering my name is not too difficult indeed. Good morning, everybody. Great pleasure to see you here all protocols observed indeed, as Dr. Edward already mentioned. I'm a very proud person to stand here today and to have made a journey together with PCP over the last years, although I stepped on this train a year ago. Dr. Edwards already gave such a very clear story of this journey. And although we are launching a new fund today, in fact, it is just a halfway moment because we are merging two funds and we are recapitalizing a fund with an additional 2 million. And that makes clear that the success is there. But all the stories about the funding was given already. So I would like to take you back a bit in Dutch history. As a child, everybody always has a role model or a hero. And my hero was my grandfather, who was born in 1900, and he was a farmer. Or in fact, he worked at a farm. He even wasn't a farmer himself, but his whole life he was a farmer. And why was he my hero? Because being born in 1900, he had gone through so many developments in the world, in the Netherlands, and hearing those stories, how the Netherlands were around that time, it's fascinating. And you can learn so much from these stories, because a farmer in the early 1900, 1920 was really a smallholder farmer, loads of them. And farmers needed access to finance because there was a need for industrialization. The Netherlands was not the agricultural stronghold as it is at this moment. And what they did during that time was they made use of cooperatives. They just had small banks in the pub, just in the church. It didn't matter, but they just borrowed money to small interest. So the similarities that we see happening with Uganda is very big. And those cooperatives in the Netherlands, during that time, they needed a bit of a big brother who could support them. And two small cooperative banks, farmer banks, were born. And they supported the farmers in their work to industrialization, to expanding, to really make agriculture commercial. And those two banks, they merged. And in the history, in 1972, they merged to the Rabobank, which is now one of the big banks in the Netherlands, who still is a bank for agriculture and horticulture. And they expanded. They also allowed non-farmers to become a member. That was something that was really, because it was exclusively for farmers at first. And now, since 1980, they have expanded abroad. And at present, they work in 42 countries, among others in Uganda, where they are the biggest partner with DFCU Bank. So there is, for cooperative banking, there is a big future. There's a big opportunity that is possible in Uganda as well. Because smallholders here dominate the Ugandan agriculture. And access to finance, and especially access to finance for women, is such a challenge. The moment you are bigger, you can go to the bigger banks. But that first step to get your credit, to really grow your business, it is a challenge where we are very proud to be a partner of PCP. Because PCP has proven that it's possible to really find those farmers who need the financing. They're able to really, and absolutely how proud you are that there are no defaulters. That is something that makes clear how your due diligence is working, how you select the farmers, how you train them to really invest in their own business. Because what you said, and that's the philosophy of the Netherlands as well, it is not about giving away. It's not about grants. We have to see how people can invest in their own business. And the additional 2 million we provide today to PCP indeed is smaller than we had hoped. Sometimes, indeed, politics is not on our side. And sometimes it's not exactly the size that we had hoped. But every step is one. And this 2 million on top of the 6 million that we gave already gives more opportunity, not only for the farmers, but also for PCP to prove that the way they are working is a useful one, is a successful one. And that hopefully will bring in other money that can be Dutch as well, because we are in this country also working with the Dutch Development Bank, FMO. We are working with commercial banks, and we will continue trying to get recapitalization for PCP after 2030 as well, because we see the success of access to finance. This is just a start, and for sure we are very pleased that we work together with the EU, that we work together with others to make things possible. But we need the support from all sides. Very pleased to meet a councillor here from microfinance, but it's also the commercial banks, because only in the end the commercial banks are going to make the real difference. And at that level, the Netherlands is working in the coming years in the agricultural sector, supporting farmers, but also working on title deeds, because we all know how important title deeds are to get a loan. So if farmers really have that piece of paper, that they are the owner of the land, it will help them as well to get the access to finance. So on the broad spectrum, we expect to invest, if we look at our planning, approximately 150 million Ugandan shilling, 150 million euros in Uganda in the agricultural sector. This is halfway our journey with PCP, a new fund, the Smallholder Credit Fund, that gives more flexibility than what we had with the dairy and the horticulture, because two separate funds always has a bit of limitations. The Smallholder Credit Fund really that assists the farmers. If my grandfather would have had the opportunity to get this type of smallholders, maybe he was just an assistant in a farm anymore, but he would have been a farmer himself. History is there to learn from, and PCP has shown that they really learn from this journey, and we are very proud to be a partner on your journey. Thank you very much, and all the luck in starting the Smallholder Credit Fund. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Another round of applause for him. And now it gives me great pleasure to invite our chief guest for today, Edith Tusubira, who is from the Ministry of Finance, the Commissioner on Ministry of Finance for Microfinance Regulation. A round of applause for Edith as she comes.
Thank you. Allow me to rely on all protocols as previously established. And I just want to really start by appreciating all of us who are in the room, because the microfinance story for us as Uganda is a solid one. We now are reaching somewhere where it can no longer be ignored. And I can just inform you today that even at the ministry, we are back into the ministry because we went back for strengthening. And allow me also to pronounce our solid support, that even when you call me at short notice, I can try to look how I can find space for microfinance. We have been here for quite some time. Our story is, I think, sets as far back as in the 90s. And we have good stories. We can very proudly say we gave birth to Centenary Bank. We can proudly say we gave birth to Pride Microfinance, Pride Bank now. We have the Ugafords of today, Opportunity Bank. Hey, I can mention them. It's a full list. Cannot even fit. Please clap. This one is we deserve to clap for ourselves. If we sat back as microfinance, it would be a different story today. And I'm also proud to announce that I do believe that Centenary Bank is, if not now, I think it's number 2 right now. They are not in the room, I think, even. But we don't shy away from talking about them, because it's not their story alone. It's also our story. I think I do remember, I've come across people referring to PCP, and I think the story is not bad. So, this morning, allow me to congratulate Pearl Capital Partners, the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and all the partners involved in the establishment and expansion of this Smallholder Credit Fund. It is very, very important. The transition from the dairy to, rather than horticultural credit, to the broader Smallholder Capital Fund, rather Credit Fund, together with the additional €2 million from the EKN, bringing the fund to about 8 million right now, demonstrates how development of finance can evolve. the deputy in the embassy has referred to, I don't want to get into the titles or else I mess. You referred to Rabobank, and I have a history with Rabobank. I didn't know it relates to you directly. So I was happy to hear about that. Things start, things move. Let us, as Ugandans, learn to start businesses that live beyond us. And I am also happy I heard, Edward, you announce you're exiting. Please do exit when time comes. Don't fail to exit. Evolving and allowing growth to happen is when we can do what? When we can live. Don't take this political. I'm not in politics. I am talking about organizational development because I'm a professional. Yeah? So I am saying, let us learn to what? To exit. Allow growth to happen. And if, Edward, you're planning to leave, just only continue on the path of succession planning and allow these people that you showed us to continue with PCP. You come back as a visitor, you come back as an investor, and it will all be well. It has nothing to do with you as the best. And very soon you'll also hear that I was once a commissioner, but I am going to leave. And indeed, I'm planning my leaving. If we don't leave, things don't happen. I will keep telling the story of, is it Centenary Bank all the time? Oh, I don't know, sijui what. People are going. Very soon, the Centenary Bank story will be no more. It should close. The bank should continue with other people. They've even changed right now as I speak, because there has to be growth. There has to be new thinking. Today, people are thinking AI. For us who have been the people of the 90s like us, we spoke, I don't know what, you go, you put together a write-up, you struggle with it. The kid will just get it on the table in a minute. They come into a meeting, sit there, and as I'm speaking right now, if they're the ones going to speak, they just come with their story in a minute. It means those of us who are analog, it's time for us to do what? To quit and give them space. Give them what? Space. And for us who are analog, please don't get annoyed with me. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. But I can tell you that these young people are thinking. And then they are our children. Where will they work? If we keep in those positions, where will they what? Where will they work? Where will the thinking happen? So I don't want to over-delay on that. Otherwise, I might. So today, as we speak, with the new strategy that we have is a tenfold one. We are looking to become more than $500 billion economy. That won't happen if we all do not think about what we are doing and then make it happen differently. Do not do whatever you do or you did just the same way as you did and expect better results. If you do the same thing every day and you repeat the same and you expect better results or different results, that one is an illusion. It is a waste of time. So in other words, government here now welcomes all the thinking in the room. PCP, you are just well placed. If you have additional financing, how else can you do it? Today, in a space where we are announcing lower interest rates, because those ones, I am the chief in fighting them. We don't want to borrow so high, and then we make our people struggle and get them into repayments which can never come. This economy is still so young. And it will take this space, those people who are here listening to me, to make the trajectory different. It is us who will change this. It is us who it will take to tell a different story. And it starts by allowing the younger ones to take center stage. So I am quite seriously saying, let us start to get into, when I am also in the evening, like Edward said. So in about a few years, I should be really off this stage. They should call another commissioner to come and tell us different stories, you know, AI stories like this. The new AI has come, it is saying, let's do work like this, and things are happening. So we want to welcome you. We want to welcome the resources that you bring, especially in the SACCO space. We are working on starting to regulate PDM. And I know that when PDM started, there was a lot of doubt. Yes, the doubting Thomases, we are always there. Before it happens, we will doubt. So we have started now regulating them, the Emyoga SACCOs. The model we use this time, as opposed to the other funds that have been going in the government, this time the money went into the wallets, and it would hit the person in their wallet. What a beautiful story of mobile banking. You can no longer do things the same. So the wallets enabled people to receive their money directly. And now they are ready for regulation. Because without regulation is just, it has to accompany everything, or else you don't monitor what you're doing. And that is my space. So I just want to tell you that we are ready to also wait for the fund to come and support those. There are many, over 10,000 SACCOs. And I know that not all of them are ready. Who will help you to see that? The regulator. The Myogas are about 6,000 SACCOs. You know what? FinScope tells us that Ugandans changed the tide. They are no longer in the banks. They want to be in their SACCOs and organize their monies. When we refuse to change, the people do what? They change. Today they changed. They moved away from the banking system that was so difficult. Making every time you go to ask for money, they'll remind you how agriculture can't work. But we eat the food. You know, it comes on our table and we get satisfied. But they say it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Surely, if they are not funded, how will things move? We are an agricultural-based country. If we don't finance them, who will finance them? If we have a dirty corner in the house, who sweeps it apart from yourself? We are the ones who are going to change agriculture. What about our coffee? The very nice story of an endowment that God gave us naturally. Who will finance coffee if we get away? Who will finance our tea if we move away? Who will finance our maize? By the way, when our maize comes through, you know what our neighbors in Kenya say? That it has a flock seed. Because they think that they have to tell a story so that they can take it. But you know, all our pineapples which they want, they go to them and they like the Ugandan pineapples. Now, I like my Kenyan friends, but sometimes they don't tell nice stories about Uganda. They don't. So until we get out of our comfort space to come and do things in our own country, but above all, do them right, we have to do our things right. So I really want to say today, as I thank PCP and the partners for giving me the opportunity to be here. Yes, because even if I'm the commissioner, you can choose another guest of honor. But today we are here because I also love this story. Indeed, agriculture remains at the center stage of our transformation. We need to do something about it. It is well represented in our NDP4 plan, national plan. That therefore means that we need to be serious about it. So I can just easily say that PCP, you are moving very well. The fund focuses on affordable but patient capital, combined with technical assistance and market linkages, supports transition of farmers from sustainable production towards commercially viable agricultural enterprises. For you to concentrate on what they call risky and you are de-risking it, I think you are very, very well placed. A key policy priority for government is improving access to appropriate and affordable financial services for the underserved. We are here because the underserved gives us an opportunity. We have work because those people are not yet served. There is a gap that we must meet. For the smallholder farmers, financial inclusion must mean more than having a bank account. Yes, we have sung the song of access to finance. That one now is an old story. Now we want the money into the people's pockets. So it must mean having access to the right to finance, the right financing, and at the right time on terms that reflect the agricultural production cycle. And I think PCP is scoring because of that. We have been lacking patient capital. So whoever stands wherever you will be, because you always are in different forums talking about microfinance, talking about financing for agri. But if we are not talking about relevance in the type of financing we provide, then it will not work. You are giving me money and you know very well that the season will end in 6 months. Then you expect me to pay in 1 month. That one is a mismatch. And if there is that mismatch, how else do you expect this farmer to be paying you back? Hey, farmers have a lot of problems, my dear. They do. Agriculture finance requires products that recognize seasonality, longer production cycles, and, of course, market risks and specific cash flow realities of the farmer. Members, we have so many problems. We have so many issues. Can you imagine, while we say we are talking about giving them seasonal products, but also when it comes to them, I deal with the issues of non-payment. They don't want to pay. So whenever I'm also speaking to them, I tell them, pay back people's money. Instead, they misuse it, and then they start saying they are running to the regulator for solutions, because they know that when they come, we shall be looking at it. Why did you sign this agreement, which had that you are supposed to pay every month when you knew it very well, that you could have probably negotiated? They give you an amount that you pay in time. But it's also your role to try and warn them, to try and give them some bit of light, because sometimes it's about literature, financial literacy issues. People don't know what to do. I am sure your grandfather on Rabobank, they must have given them money, which was also, to allow growth, for growth to happen. And people think, they don't know that sometimes it's beyond us. These things are sometimes very spiritual. You do wrong things, even your institution will not grow. It will die, and you will not have been the one killing it, but something above. And I'm not saying that PCP will die. I'm only saying that PCP has done the right thing so I can see it in the future. When we are long gone, PCP will be in place, and somebody will say, oh, my grandfather, called Edward Isingoma, was behind this. Okay, so people, I just want to say this morning that if this fund continues to focus on affordable and patient capital, it will be very, very, very clear that the roadmap is a successful one. And then concerning financial inclusion, the key policy priority for government is improving access strengthening farmer organizations. We have been at it trying to work on farmer organizations. And I can assure you that we are not yet tired. We want to ensure that we use the circle system for money to reach our people. We also want to ensure that the quality, you know, for financing, if you bring only the issue of finance and talk about it, you could succeed. If the other components are not coming, it's unfortunate. So there are other agronomic practices that you must combine with the finance, and then it works together. Today, we have extension workers whose role has actually died out. Maybe it is resuming, I don't know. I am not in the agriculture ministry. But we need to handle it together. Then we are talking about the quality of inputs. You are financing here, but if this guy goes and buys wrong type of inputs, it's unfortunate. And some of the people in the room, unfortunately, could be on that side of input production. And when it comes to your inputs, you want to put should I say it, should I not? I think let me leave that one. But you know what you do sometimes, and then the farmers cannot simply get out of where they are because the quality of inputs is poor. So let us also think about how to, and this is to see PCP, to partner with those that can also bring in the right type of input for the clients that you have, to try and de-risk that area as well. To think about the partners that you need in the room to probably work with you on financial education. To think, you know, the different facets that make up this agri-business lending work, we need to put them together. And as I wind up, I do think that this partnership is here to stay. I know you hinted on the fact that you sometimes struggle with a few things to continue with financing here, but I can tell you, I'm also a believer that things can work beyond us. We are going to trust that you will make the right decisions to also see the rest of partners who need this kind of financing, including those of us. We can help you even access to others because we regulate them, because we look at their books, their financials. For you, they will probably tell you other things, but for us, they have to post because that is where their compliance relies, so that we can continue financing our people. So the reported progress to date is about 31.8 billion committed to 60 farmer organizations, and 37 billion in credit accessed by smallholder farmers. Ladies and gentlemen, we must clap for PCP. There must be something very special about what they have done. Now, you only need to now make it complementary to the issues like of climate change. You have to answer that story as well. So you see a partner who has a lot to think about, not just the financing component, but also what is happening elsewhere. So right now we are not only doing the financing business, we are also having to think about what does it mean in our climate. Then I think there we have also partners who have gone ESG, like ABI Trust, I think ABI Financing. They are not in the room, maybe. They are in the room. Good. So those ones, they are really moving that space also very successfully. The women and youth, and how we have to include them all the time. For us on our side, we are trying to work on what we call credit information sharing system for all the lenders and borrowers under the Tier 4 space. Tier 4 space is generally microfinance, and we want to see who is borrowing and lending in that space, because we know very well that people come and borrow here, or borrow here, in the where we regulate as MRD, formerly UMRA, and then they either they borrow here and pay back in tier 1, 2, and 3. That kind of confusion, we are trying to find a solution for it. So we want to know who is every borrower and lender. And we shall also put the saving component, such that one day we are going to be able to explain who has, how much money do we have under the tier 4 space. That system is coming. Allow me at this juncture to come to the close of my conversation here with you and to announce that my Minister of State has come. They are not here in the room, but I welcome them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much for such a compelling address. Commissioner Edith, if I could still bring you back to the front, because now you have to officially sign and launch our fund. And you will be joined by Dr. Isingoma and the ambassador to sign our fund and declare it officially launched. So we'll welcome the commissioner first as our regulator to sign. And please clap for her too as she signs. And then we welcome the ambassador to put his signature. Thank you so much. And then we welcome Dr. Isingoma to also append his signature.